Hey guys, welcome back to Aquarius Truly. We are on episode 12, I believe. Regardless, we're in the tens, which I think is definitely a huge step forward. So I feel very excited about that. I don't know. It's just something about hitting the tens. It really shows, I guess, how much work has been put into this pod, even though it's sort of been I feel like the work, I don't know if I'd like to call it disorganized. Maybe I'm trying to toot my own horn a tad bit by trying to say it's not disorganized. I think it's definitely just been a very unique experience, to say the least, is what I would describe it as. And I just feel very proud of the work that I've done on this and just my commitment to it, even though it's been disorganized, for lack of a better word. Regardless, I've been doing it, right? I've been giving y'all episodes, and I think that that's definitely something that we should consider in my growth with the pod. So I'm very, very excited about that. And yeah, let's just get straight into this episode. So today I really want to talk about how our life is meant to be lived in eras and chapters, and how a lot of the times how we view life, I feel like we have this misconception that it is this very linear experience, that we sort of experience things at the same age. And I think everything is different for different people. And I also think that as humans, we have this illusion. I don't know why this is becoming a sociology class, but I feel like we just have this illusion that we have control. And something that I learned, I forget if it was in a college course or what it was, but I learned that actually us believing that we have control is an illusion in and of itself. We actually have no control at all. We just like to think we have control. So that's why we start things starting school at a specific age, and just money and all of these weird concepts that we are just we've just normalized into our society all through evolution and everything. All of that is to create this illusion of control that we actually don't have as people. As humans, we don't have any control. The only thing that we really have control over, in the broadest way that I can possibly put this, is how we view and perceive the world. I guess that's a little redundant, but our perception of the world, I would say, is what we have control over. So we can choose to put specific labels on ourselves, and then that'll be our perception of ourselves, and that's how we're going to choose how to live life, right? But you can also choose to view your life in a different way and then manifest through there. And that's honestly sort of been how manifestation has worked for me personally, has been literally just me being oh, I feel that I am worthy of this one thing for some reason. So I'm just going to act like I have it and act like I deserve it. And that's usually how things have worked out for me. I had no idea how I was going to come out here to LA. Literally no idea. I had no idea how I was going to end up having an apartment, but it was on my vision board. I didn't know what city I was going to be living in. And I talk about this all the time on the podcast, how I've always wanted to live in LA ever since I was a teenager, and all the YouTubers were in LA. I've always wanted to live in LA. I didn't even know that West Hollywood was where a lot of influencers out here live. Obviously Studio City and Beverly Hills and all those other places, which West Hollywood, I would say, is relatively close to them. Dependent on traffic with Studio City, but we don't have to talk about it. But I'm right next to Beverly Hills. And I feel I really manifested living in this specific apartment and also in this specific neighborhood without even knowing it. Me being in West Hollywood, just is it's so surreal and crazy to me. And then now the fact that I live in my own studio apartment with a pool in LA, all of these things came into fruition simply because I decided to grab a pen and paper and write it for myself. when I first came out here, I didn't have a job. I had a bunch of money saved up from like when I was working back in New York, but like I didn't really have a job. Also, I keep doing this because I don't know. I'm trying to feel like Ariana Grande a little bit. I don't know. The Wicked comes out on Friday, so like that's sort of been the vibe. It's Wicked week for me. That is like my national holiday. That's the season that I'm in right now. I don't give a fuck about Thanksgiving. I give a fuck about Wicked. Okay, but with me manifesting this move, of course, there had to be work put into it in terms of just like applying and like, you know, figuring out logistically how I was going to do it. But I didn't sort out all of the details. I sorted out the important details with my move. But a lot of it was really just me believing that I could. And so I did. Like that is how a lot of my life has been. It's been hard work and then thinking I can. And so I do. Do I know anything about writing an album? Obviously now I do. But at the time that I wrote Lover Girl, I didn't have much experience with that. Like I was like, I don't know how to write an album, but I literally would be like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but it's going to happen. And why is it going to happen? Because I said so. The second you start telling yourself it will happen because you said so, like literally treat yourself like how your teachers and your adults would treat you as a kid. Just say, when they would say, because I said so, say that to yourself. Just be like, because I said so. It's going to happen because I said so. And every time that has truly been the case, unless it's something that genuinely was not meant for me. And like, anything that's been in alignment with the path that I am meant to be on, I would say has absolutely worked out for me in my favor. Like, I was absolutely supposed to graduate from NYU. I was absolutely supposed to move out here to LA. I was absolutely born to be a content creator. Even my teaching journey, it is literally like when I was younger, what I would do is I would set up my stuffed animals in my basement. And then I remember my parents got me a chalkboard for Christmas one year. I want to say I was like 7 or 8. And they got me a chalkboard for Christmas, and like I would literally use it and like pretend to teach my students the letters and like all these different things. And like I would teach them things that I would learn at school. I would pretend that I had like a teacher's answer key and everything. These are just some of the things that I think about as I'm teaching, even on days where like, because teaching, I love it, but there's sometimes days where it is really rough and it's really hard. And I'm a substitute. Obviously, I have like long-term sub experience, which is like very close to like all the things you would do as a teacher, but still nonetheless, like I'm in the process of getting my credentials. So like, I don't know everything, but a lot of the things that I catch myself doing in my day-to-day, the little things when I have time to like think and really think and process and like, you know, imagine what I'm doing, I'm like, I am really living the life that I always wanted and doing everything I always wanted, because I love singing, I love dancing, I love acting, but I also love teaching. I love being in a pink environment. And here I am in my pink studio apartment in LA. Like, I'm wearing a pink shirt, I'm wearing pink earrings. But all of these things it's just further proof that I am truly living the life that I was meant to live. So back to what I was saying in terms of like evolution and how we're supposed to live our lives in chapters. Your life, as I mentioned, is eras. Illusion of control, all those different things. That being said, permanence is an illusion. The idea that anything in your life is meant to be permanent and meant to last forever is an illusion. Because one, we're not vampires. We are going to leave this earth one day. Some of us have already left. Nothing is permanent. If your life is not permanent, why would anything in it be? Like, your life is the most grand, precious thing that exists in the universe. So if even that is not permanent, why would anything else be? Your car, your house, your apartment, your cats, your dogs, the people you love, the people you hate, all those different aspects and things. It doesn't make sense logistically for them to be permanent. You know what I mean? So like, I want to sort of like bring this to relationships and friendships and people, because a lot of the times we'll grow very attached. And I don't think you should view the people in your life as like, oh, they're going to leave someday and blah, blah, blah. When the time comes, trust that like it will come, and you'll see it out. You'll see out the friendship, and you'll experience it in full, and you'll have all these memories, and it will be beautiful and it will be amazing. Don't anticipate the ending. Enjoy everything in its presence and enjoy all of its beauty and every single aspect of it. But don't grow attached to the point that like, if they leave your life and don't want to be a part of it, that you are only stuck on the ending and not all of the amazing middle parts of it. And this is obviously very nuanced, because I know that there's people out there that are evil and terrible, and you should absolutely focus on the damage, because that is what is going to allow you to let go and to move on. But I guess in cases where them leaving is for a more subtle reason and like less of like a very serious version, I have to cough. Sorry. If it's of a less serious version and it's obviously just like things end, because sometimes in life things end, everything ends. That's just literally a part of life. If that happens, don't be so stuck on the ending and how it happened and how you can fix it. Some things are just not meant to be in your life anymore. And you sort of just have to make peace with that. And it gets easier with time. Like, because the more life that you live, the more you see people leave, and you understand that there's sometimes just people are just not meant to be there anymore. And it makes it a lot easier to let go of them. I don't think you should, and I mentioned this in the last episode, just like talking about being avoidant. I don't think you should get to the point where you're like completely avoidant and just like you don't want to let anybody inside because you're scared they're going to leave one day. You know, enjoy those middle parts, but just trust that if they leave, it is because they are absolutely meant to leave. I can also just like talk about in terms of relationships, like especially talking about someone like the 32-year-old that I was dating. What an era, y'all. What an era. But when he left, I was distraught, absolutely distraught. I literally was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to be without this person. I really, like, I loved him, who I thought he was. And then literally all of these different truths about him just started to unfold. I learned so much about him and who he really is. And I learned, wow, I didn't know this person at all. But thank God they left, didn't they? Thank God they left before me seeing the monster that they were while I was in the relationship. Like, thank goodness. I feel so grateful about that. And it was just really eye-opening for me, because a lot of the times when we're in relationships, when it ends, we have this feeling of like, how am I going to go back to who I was before this person? And we think that like, first of all, our brains trick us so much, and we, for some reason, think that our life was like not as amazing like without this person, and like, how are we ever gonna go back to before? Girl, you were amazing before this person, because people do not make or break your life. They are literally here to show you lessons, to inspire you, to show you care, to show you love, to show you what true love is, to show you what fake love is, to give you lessons. Everyone in your life serves a purpose, but they are not the purpose, okay? They are not the purpose. No one should make or break your life. You are responsible for your life and how you perceive it, how you live it, and how you view it. Another person should not be responsible for that, because people are literally chapters. They're meant to show us things, positive and negative things, lessons, different things, as I mentioned before, okay? They're all here to show you stuff, not to be your life. Because one habit that I definitely have with being in love, and this is just me being an Aries Venus, I'll be with someone and then I'll think, wow, my life is so amazing. This amazing feeling that I have of like being in love. I'm like, this is like what life is all about and blah, blah, blah. I have had that feeling on my own. In fact, it's been even more fulfilling when I've been on my own because it's coming from myself and it's something that I created within, which is really what being in love is. It's not the other person. You can feel that love, but that love is within you already. You are just putting it on to another person, which is so beautiful. Like, I love that we as people are able to just like put so much love and put so much positivity and energy into others. And it's so powerful to the point that we literally think that it's them. And it's not them, it's you. So that's why this whole idea that like you are not going to be able to be amazing or like live an amazing life without a person, it doesn't make sense, because you were amazing before, because no one is supposed to make or break your life. No one. So you were amazing before. It's not you going backwards. It's you moving forwards with a new lesson. You feel me? Like, you're moving forward. You just have more knowledge now. And honestly, knowledge is power. The amount of information that I know, I feel like I could run the world with how much I know about people that have done me wrong, with the information, like just like anything that I learned in school and just like subjects and like any information. All knowledge is power. You can do anything with knowledge. You can literally analyze things again and again, beat a dead horse, do a bunch of stuff, literally through the knowledge that you have, which I think is literally such an amazing skill that we have as people, is just like how powerful our knowledge is. And we take it for granted a lot, because I feel like a lot of the times when we are thinking about knowledge and we're like, oh, I wish I didn't know as much, or like, I wish I didn't have that much information. Like, ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is not bliss. Like, at all. I would not want to be ignorant. I love knowing as much as I do. Like, I absolutely love it. I feel so smart. I feel like I can accomplish anything with the knowledge that I have. I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to unlive certain traumas and certain things that I've experienced in life. I literally don't. I want to just like continue living my life and like living it to the fullest, and not looking back or like questioning how certain things could have played out differently, because it didn't play out differently for a reason. Because if it never played out in the way that it did, I wouldn't have the knowledge that I have today. I wouldn't have the self-respect that I have today. Or I wouldn't be able to psychoanalyze myself in the way that I have been, I think, like for the last few months, had I not gone through everything I've experienced in life in my 24 years. And like, a life without knowledge, I feel like it's just so boring. Life would be so boring if everything was just easy all the time. It would be so boring that we would look for problems, okay? Like, trust me, I know it's like ignorance is bliss and like it sounds so great. It really isn't. You would get bored and then you look for problems. That's how problems form. It's because we get bored and then we're like, let me look for some problems. Let me add some entertainment in my life. You don't need to do that. Okay? Like, life is meant to be lived. You're meant to have lessons. You're meant to experience literally every aspect of life, and no one is supposed to make or break it. I love that like people outside of me have this ability to show me certain things about yourself, and everyone really is a projection. What you see is a projection of yourself. The certain things that you see, the certain triggers that you see in certain people, certain mirroring, it's all a real thing because we're all interconnected. Like, it sounds kind of like ooh and like voodoo-y and stuff, but like, we really are connected. Like, you can even see it in our palms, just like the lines we have and everything. Everything is connected in the universe, and that's why everything is able to be manifested. Anything that you want in the world, you can manifest, because everything is connected. You just have to be the one to attract the things that you want, but you can do that. Like, What was the phrase that I literally said? That, yeah, because I said so. It happens because I said so. And call it delusional, call it whatever you want. But it's like at the end of the day, I still get what I want. So, like, I have yet to be proven wrong about the shit that I want because I always get it. And anything that I've wanted that I don't get, it's something I thought I wanted, but it was not a part of the path of what I really actually want. It was a little side quest, a side track that I was not meant to endure, not meant to go through, but I needed the lesson. So that's why I went through it. And now that lesson is pulling me closer to like what I'm really meant to achieve in this lifetime. You know, like everything is absolutely interconnected. Everything is a path, and life is not linear. Life is chapters. We're all literally living in a story, in a book. And if you journal, that's why I really love journaling, because I feel like with journaling, you see the different chapters and you see the different eras, you see the person that you were, and you see just like, I guess like it sounds kind of kooky if like you call yourself a character, but like it helps to like really imagine yourself that way. That helps with like romanticizing your life, is like you see yourself as a character, and like each chapter, I'll see journals from like 3 years ago and I'm like, I was not the same person 3 years ago as I am today. And like, I can really see the development. I can be like, wow, she didn't learn this lesson yet. That's why she's thinking this. Or like, oh, she hasn't met this person yet. That's why she doesn't know this information yet. You know what I mean? Like everything is meant to show you something. Everything is supposed to be an era. And like, you can call certain eras things if you want to, but like, I'm like, I don't know. Is that something that helps certain people? I don't know if I really like buy into the whole giving your eras names thing. I just sort of live and then I see and I'm like, oh, that's Lisette at 21. That's Lisette at 18. She didn't meet so-and-so. She just met this. Oh, she was friends with this people. Now she's not. You can really see just like all of the different people that you're meant to meet. I think also recording voice memos has been really helpful. And even just like filming the podcast, seeing the person that I am, seeing the episodes from like a year ago is crazy. Cause I'm just like, first of all, my hair is not even the same color. We're like back to the brown. I love it. But seeing the person that I was, even that's not the same. I'm like, I don't know that I was going to be making this money, living in this studio. You don't know these things. And I think that that's the beauty of life, is just like how much life you really have left to live. And how your life is not over because of one person. Your life is just beginning. It's a new chapter. They were meant to show you a lesson. And some chapters are longer than others. Some chapters are harder than others, harder to get through, harder to read, harder to experience. And that's okay. It's a part of life. It's any plot. Do it for the plot. I'm like, okay, do it for the plot, but do it with the knowledge that you know. Don't be like me where like you go backwards and like have to like redo it and reread that chapter and like, oh, I guess we didn't study that well for this test. I guess we got to take it again. The universe says so. Like, actually take the information and take the lesson. I always say this. Take the lesson, leave the situation. The situation is in the past. There's nothing you can do about it, so just leave it in the past. It's not meant to follow you. When you're reading a book, you don't rip out the pages and then put them like after the other things already happened. Like you wouldn't do that. So why are you doing that in real life? Like I'm not going to take page 13 and put it on page 146. The story would make no sense. Like everything is in a very precise order, but it's not linear. It's chapters. Why is this episode literally like so much to film? Oh my goodness. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed my little chit chat about how your life is eras and your life is chapters. There definitely will be more episodes, and I do want to talk more about this topic at some point. But while you're here, you can absolutely follow me on Instagram, TikTok, at Lisette Serrano. It will be in the description. If you're listening on Spotify, hey, you didn't see me, but I'm wearing a Barbie pink sweater and some jeans. And I am just laying down as I always am and just feeling really cozy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, in case y'all didn't know, let me describe it to you. But I love you guys. I hope you have such an amazing Friday and stay fabulous.